Hello there, we're in the orchard at the end of the second week of January. This is typical weather that we get here in southern England this time of year. We don't get snow very often. We get these thick, heavy, grey, overcast skies which are very productive of depression, which is why it's good to get out of doors suitably attired and do something physical. It's good for you. Just an orientation shot. This is about the pond. Okay, it's about our pond we're digging. Here's some willow we planted for basket making, some bamboo there, some dogwood, some Norway spruce and some larch that we planted when we first bought this piece of land, and you can read all about it in my Kindle ebook Tales from an English Orchard, available very reasonably priced as a Kindle download. Loads of pictures, the whole story from early dreamings to present day. We ended up, the piece of land that became available, and pieces of land around here do not often become available, let alone at a price we could afford, was much bigger than we needed. So we bought it, 9 acres, and we planted up various areas of woodland, and this is one of them. This is what we call the oval spinney, that's the basket making copse, and this is a good little corner for a wildlife pond. We know we have toads around here. There's a little, I don't know if you can see him, a robin redbreast perching on a twig. We know we've got toads and some reptiles. We've got definitely slow worms, the legless lizard, and we've seen grass snakes here on many occasions, but not so much recently since the buzzard population increased. We know buzzards eat grass snakes. Never seen a viper out here, but they are common in the New Forest, which is 25 miles away. Anyway, wildlife pond. Julia has always wanted to have a wildlife pond, and here we are at last digging one. I started digging this just over 2 years ago before I had my last very nasty accident when I fell off a rock in Cornwall and broke my wrist and probably my back, although the x-ray was equivocal. So we started this and the hole was left undug, but now we've moved on and dug this all out. And this is very interesting. I'm filming this. It's the last time this will ever be filmed probably, because we're going to cover it up and maybe move to the next stage. I'll make a few videos as we make this pond. We've got clay, sand and gravel and big stones. All of these stones, I mean, this is so heavy I can't lift it. These stones have all come out of this, all of these stones have come out of this hole. I mean, look at that, this one. It must weigh £1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. It's huge, and you can see how many we've got, and those as well. Some areas are almost completely all stones. Other areas at the bottom there, it's all clay. I think if we went down deep enough, it would be, sorry, I meant to say sand. I think if we went deep enough, we'd find it was all sand, further deep. But incidentally, it's worth knowing things like this before you plant an orchard. I mean, we still would have bought this land, but the sand, it doesn't provide good deep nutrient or water retention. So, you know, this isn't a great place to plant a commercial orchard. And we've found this out the hard way, and we've been moving towards having our trees spaced further apart, which works better for us. Anyway, so you can see this pond has been dug on several levels. We've dug as much as we can now. We're smoothing this out, removing as many stones as we can, raking and stamping it flat. And when we're satisfied with what we've done with all the smooth edges, different levels, it's about 2.5 feet deep in the middle. It's about 18 inches deep around the sides. There's a few areas that are a bit shallower, and at that far end just there, we're going to, when we see that, you know, it works out with the liner, we're going to take the liner up about another 3 feet and make that very shallow there, maybe tapering from 2 inches down to 6 inches to provide a sort of escape route for amphibians, because we've quite steep edges here. Anyway, so we're going to finish this off, and then we're going to line it with some old non-biodegradable carpet material, probably the best use for it. And this is that comes from our bedroom where we renewed the carpet a few years ago. Wool is ideal for carpets, but the moths get into it. We've got a big moth problem here, so I'm afraid one tends to go for nylon, sort of non-biodegradable carpets, otherwise they get eaten up by moth maggots. So this is just about the right size. We'll be cutting this up and arranging it very carefully, and when we've done that we'll probably go and price up or size up a butyl liner, fill this up hopefully before the late winter rains, and we'll see what sort of we'll see who turns up. I'd love to have some newts here, but it's illegal to capture, handle or move newts anywhere in Britain. We know there are a lot of toads around here, a lot of toads. We see them from time to time, and although they mainly live in the woodland areas, they live underneath tufts of grass, and that they need water to breed. So the more toads, the less slugs. That'd be good. Okay, so I'll post a few more videos here as we carry out this next stage, this next phase in our orchard and wildlife adventure, and I'll show you some more pictures hopefully over the coming year or two.